Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Louise and I run the Life with Scoliosis blog, where I blog about my life and experiences of living with scoliosis. So for the last 4 months or so, I've been training for my first marathon, and I've made a series of vlogs all about my experience of training, and if you're interested in those then please feel free to give them a watch. The marathon is now less than 4 weeks away, and I've got plenty of long run experience now under my belt, including last weekend I did a 20-mile run, which is the longest run in the marathon training block. Tomorrow I have the final long run of my marathon training, which is a 15-mile run. So what I thought I'd do for this video is take you along with me on my final long run of training to give you an idea of what it's like when running these kind of distances during marathon training. There's a lot more to it than you may think, including prep, planning, pacing, kit, and recovering afterwards as well. If you're interested in more videos about my marathon training, my running and my life with scoliosis in general, then please feel free to hit subscribe and follow me on my journey. So as today is the day before my long run, there's quite a few things that I need to think about. The first thing is fueling. So today I have tried to make sure that I've eaten enough to get me through my long run tomorrow. So I've tried to make sure that I eat more carbs, especially for my evening meal. So this is completely dependent on personal preferences and dietary requirements, things like that, but I tend to go for things like pasta, but anything that's carb heavy is recommended the sort of evening before a longer run. But during training it's a good time to experiment with what works, so that what works for you can be used on the night before race day. Another thing I've tried really hard today as well to do is to try to keep hydrated, drink plenty of water, try to avoid caffeine. I never drink alcohol the evening before a long run because it just dehydrates me and I want to be as hydrated as possible. Another thing that I've done today is to plot my route. Because I'm going a fairly long way, it makes sense to prepare in advance where I'm going to go, and I usually use Strava for this so that I'm prepared. The last thing that I want to do is run a route that's not long enough and then have to make up the miles at the end, or vice versa. So I usually use Strava to do my route planning, although there are lots of other apps out there to use as well. And then this evening I'll make sure that I've charged my watch, charged my headphones and my phone, so that I have enough power to last me through my run. And then finally what I'll do is check the weather and prepare my kit ready for the morning, so that I'm not messing about in the morning trying to find socks and things like that. I just want to get everything ready so that I'm ready to go. So what I tend to do the night before is lay out everything that I'm going to take or wear on the long run, so that it's all ready for me in the morning. So I'll just talk you through some of the items that I have here and why. So I've recently bought some running underwear, and these have been a lifesaver because they are a lot more comfortable to wear on long runs, and they prevent chafing as well. And in some of my earlier long runs I didn't wear running underwear and I got some quite bad chafing, so that prompted me to purchase some of this, and I thoroughly recommend it. So these ones are underwear, but there's lots of others out there as well. I'm also going to be wearing my compression socks, which help me on longer runs as well. I have my running trousers, a base layer, and I'll wear a t-shirt over that as well, purely because it's going to be cold in the morning. Got my headphones. I usually have a buff over my ears if it's cold. I've got my running jacket. I'll probably just take one flask tomorrow with some of this electrolyte hydration powder in, and then I'll take some energy gels as well, which I'll have every 30 minutes. And then, as it's likely to rain tomorrow, I'll take with me my waterproof jacket. I probably won't wear it though unless it is raining, because I get too hot, but I can put it in my backpack in here, and then also I'll take some gloves as well, because yeah, it's just whether it's going to be cold or not. So I'll charge my headphones shortly, and then I'll also have my running watch as well. But yeah, so there's my clothes ready for tomorrow. So my go-to breakfast on the day of a long run is normally porridge or overnight oats, which is what I've got here. So I made these last night, and I've put some oats, almond milk, blueberries, a bit of protein powder, and some seeds and nuts as well in there. And then I've also got a glass of water, which I've put a hydration tab in, and I normally have that about an hour or hour and a half before I go and run. So I'm now about 4 miles in to my 15-mile run. The weather is so nice today, but it's really windy. But yeah, I love these country roads. My legs are feeling quite heavy after the 20-miler last weekend, but this is my last long run now of the marathon training, so I'm going to try and enjoy it. So I just wanted to talk a bit about pace on a long run. So when doing longer distances, it's really important to run at a slower pace than normal. I'd say a pace where you can hold a conversation, and try not to start too fast, because it needs to be a pace that you can sustain throughout your run. So that's what I've learned in doing my longer runs. Fueling is really important as well, so I try to have one of these energy gels every half an hour, and that seems to be working for me so far. So yeah, just find what works for you really.
How's it going, Louise?
Over halfway now on 8 miles.
Nice.
Oh, legs are hurting now. I think I'm going a bit too quick.
Slow down then.
So I'm now over halfway. Oh, not feeling too bad. Just tired really. So another tip for a long run is, if you can, have someone come with you, even if they're on the bike. Like I have my partner with me today. It's a massive help. Just helps you feel like you're not on your own, especially when you're going so far from home. And also he's helping me with carrying some of my water and gels as well. So yeah, that's another tip. See if you can get someone to come with you, or someone to run with. So I'm now back from my 15-mile run, my final long run of marathon training. I'm really glad that, that it's over. It was really hard. I think I thought it'd be easier, or feel easier, because I did the 20-mile last week, but it actually felt harder. I think because my legs are really tired. But I did go a bit quicker than I have been doing, so I think that made it feel harder as well. But yeah, so that's like my last long run now of this marathon training. I've got one final longish run next weekend, and then it's taper time. So yeah, I'm really pleased that I've managed to get through the marathon training. So now, after a long run, it's not over. So the first thing that I do when I get home is have a recovery drink. I usually have a chocolate milkshake type drink, like a recovery drink, and rehydrate myself as well. And then I usually do some stretches, and sometimes if I have time, I might have a hot bath with some Epsom salts as well, which I think I'm going to do as a treat. But yeah, so that's my long run, and I hope you enjoyed it. So this is the recovery drink that I normally have. It's just chocolate flavour powder, which you put with milk, and it's got protein in it to help repair muscles after a long run. So I'm going to have that now, and then do some stretches and have a bath.